Hello everyone. Now we are up to chapter 11, Living Abroad, Unit 2, Life in Wellington. Today,អ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នាឥឡូវយើងមកដល់ជំពូកទី11 Living Abroad, Unit 2 មេរៀនទី2 Living in Wellington. អញ្ចឹងមុននឹងចាប់ផ្ដើមសូមជួយចុច Subscribe និងរូបកណ្ដឹងឲ្យលោកគ្រូមួយផង In chapter 11, Living Abroad, Unit 2, Life in Wellington, we are going to talk about three sections. Section A, vocabulary, pictures, ask and answer the question, read the story. Section B, ask and answer the question. Section C, read the tables A and B. Use them to make 5 correct statements. Okay, let's start together. Section A, vocabulary. Crowded, adjective. To full, packed, or having a lot of people. ដែលមានមនុស្សច្រើន Example. The market is crowded every Sunday. Crowded. ដែលមានមនុស្សច្រើន Industrial, adjective. Having to do with industry or business. នៃឧស្សាហកម្ម Example. He has an industrial background. Mean he has worked in industry. Industrial នៃឧស្សាហកម្ម Study, noun. An area of knowledge of one subject you learn. មុខវិជ្ជា Example. The study of English literature. Study មុខវិជ្ជា Lack of, noun. Missing or does not have កង្វះ or ការខ្វះខាត Example. Her only problem is lack of confidence. Lack of កង្វះ Familiar, adjective. Having some knowledge of or easy to recognize because of being seen, made, heard, etc. before. ដែលដឹងអំពី or ដែលស្គាល់ familiar. Example. There were 1 or 2 familiar faces. People I knew. Familiar ដែលដឹងអំពី or ដែលស្គាល់ Gradually, adverb. By small steps, slowly or eventually. យ៉ាងយឺតៗ or បន្តិចម្ដង Example. Gradually, she recognized that he wasn't telling her the truth. Gradually, adverb. យ៉ាងយឺតៗ or បន្តិចម្ដង Climate, noun. The usual weather condition in a location. អាកាសធាតុ Example. When we retire, we are going to move to a warmer climate. Climate, noun, អាកាសធាតុ Enclose, verb. To send something in the same envelope or parcel as something else. ដាក់ក្នុងស្រោមសម្បុរ Example. Please enclose a curriculum vitae with your letter of application. Enclose ដាក់ក្នុងស្រោមសម្បុរ Provide, verb. to give someone or something that they need. Padal. Example. This booklet provides useful information about local services. Provide. Padal. Pleasure. No. Enjoyment, happiness or satisfaction. Example. He visits gave his grandparents such pleasure. Pleasure, secretary. Have you got any problem with the vocabulary, everyone? If not, you can write down in your notebook. Let's move on. Picture. Look at the map here. What countries can you see here? Cambodia, Indonesia, Australia, New Zealand, right? Here a map that show you all these countries. Where is Cambodia? Here, you can see here. On the top of the right here, you can see Cambodia. So move on, ask and answer question here. 1. Mora flew to New Zealand from Bangkok. The flight took about 12 hours. How do you think she felt when she first arrived in New Zealand? Do you have any idea? You can share here. Shall we talk about Mora, right? I think that when Mora first arrived in New Zealand, she must have felt tired, excited, nervous, afraid, happy, strained, etc. Right? Depend on your understanding, you can think about what Mora felt. 2. When Mora first arrived in New Zealand, she was 18 years old. What do you think she did for her first 2 or 3 years? What is your idea of this? I think that for her first 2 or 3 years, Mora learned English or studied at school, etc. This one just sample answer everybody. If you have any different, you can show or share. Okay, move on to reading. So we already talked about this map. Let's look at this time. Read the story. Okay, let's read together. For first 3 years, Mora attended a secondary school and learned about life in New Zealand. As it was different from her previous life and nothing was familiar, Mora found it strange at first. Gradually, however, her English improved and she got used to a new society, culture, food, and climate. By the time Mora went to university in Wellington, she felt as though she had lived there all her life. Her studies were a pleasure, and she never suffered from a lack of friends. Although Wellington was a capital city and had tall modern buildings, it was neither crowded nor industrial, but like Phnom Penh was built on the edge of water, which provided a sense of space. Mora also loved the hills that enclosed the city as though they were protecting it and that were covered in tall trees. Mora regularly visited the pagoda with her Cambodian friends, and for her first 2 or 3 years continued to study Khmer. At the same time, she kept in touch with her relatives in Cambodia. especially her younger sister, Ch11. She missed Ch11 very much, but when she read her letters, she felt as though they were still together and that she was talking to her. In one of her letters, Ch11 told Mora that she wanted to become a doctor, but couldn't afford the college fees. That was when Mora found a part-time job at the weekends and during the holiday and started sending money to her sister so that she could study medicine. So everybody, you can see here the end of our reading. You can go through this one more and more to make sure you can understand the text, and you must be able to answer all the questions in section B. Okay? Section B, ask and answer the question. Who can read the question here? 1. Why did Mora find New Zealand strange at first? 2. When Mora went to university, had she lived in Wellington all her life? How long had she lived there for? 3. There were 3 reasons why Mora felt at home in Wellington by the time she was a university student. What were they? 4. How did Mora keep in touch with Cambodian culture? 5. Why did she start working while she was a student university? Okay, let's answer together. Number 1. Who can? Why did Mora find New Zealand strange at first? Because life there, the society, culture, food and climate was new to her and very different from her previous life in Cambodia. 2. Who can? When Mora went to university, had she lived in Wellington all her life? How long had she lived there for? No, she hadn't. She had lived there for about 3 years. Number 3. There were 3 reasons why Mora felt at home in Wellington by the time she was a university student. What were they? Can you? She liked Wellington. She enjoyed her studies and she had a lot of friends. 4. How did Mora keep in touch with Cambodian cultures? Who can? You, please. She met Cambodians at a pagoda and continued to learn Khmer for her first 2 or 3 years. 5. Why did she start working while she was a university student? The last question, please. Because she wanted to help her sister Ch11 to study medicine in Cambodia. Okay. Have you got any question that you don't understand? Please, If no, move on, please. Section C. Read the tables A and B. Here you can see. A. Number 1. The hills enclose Wellington. 2. When Mora looks at the hills around Wellington. 3. When Mora is at the pagoda. 4. When Mora is with her classmate at university. 5. Mora writes to Ch11. B. A. She felt as though she is talking to her. B. She felt as though she is back in Cambodia. C. As though they want to protect it. D. She felt as though she is in the countryside. E. She felt as though she has been studying there all her life. Okay, everyone, let's mark them to make 5 correct statements. Right together. 1. The hills enclose Wellington as though they want to protect it. 2. When Mora looks at the hills around the Wellington, she feels as though she is in the countryside. 3. When Mora at the pagoda, she feels as though she is back in Cambodia. 4. When Mora is with her classmate at university, she feels as though she has been studying there all her life. 5. When Mora rides to Ch11, she feels as though she is talking to her. Okay, here the end of our unit. Have you got any question? You can ask more or drop in the comment box, okay? So don't forget to write down in your notebook. Goodbye.